Thanksgiving's right around the corner. Can't wait. One of my favorite times of year. I love to eat. And then right after that, we got our Black Friday special. Jets versus Miami. Critical game. A lot of stuff going on. So I'm going to cover the news leading into this big game against the Jets. Cover some stuff that it's very special stuff I've been working on for you guys for the last game. Because I want to say thanks to all of you for all you do to keep the monkey over here doing his gig, even though he is a monkey. I'm going to do the film tomorrow. I'm going to do a special version of the film covering the offense, the entire offensive side of the ball. And I'm going to present a lot of editing to the film so you guys will have information play by play to get a full analysis so you can hear my opinion, but then you'll have the information to make your own opinion. So I want to say thank you very much. I'm very thankful for you guys and gals and all you do to keep me in business. So a little talk over here. Very little exciting, but we'll see. I mean, it doesn't mean anything, but new ownership has worked its way underneath. A minority owner. You see right here, Armando. Stephen Ross wants to continue majority ownership of the club, but remember, he initially entered Dolphins universe as a minority owner before buying the whole thing from Wayne Huizenga. Griffin's net worth is $35.5 billion with a B-born Daytona Beach graduate. Blah, 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 blah. So, Griffin is now, Ken Griffin, you can see over here, is a minority owner. This does not mean that Ross is going to be leaving anytime soon, but it does put interesting things there. Ross is very old. I want him to live forever. I'm not saying that, but, obviously at a certain point, you've got to pull back. And then, as Armando said, hey, maybe this Griffin is in the wings to take over. Very interesting news. Now, on a more factual setting, more critical for this season, not the future, is Robert Hunt did his walkthroughs today with the practice. We'll know tomorrow, but he is very, very critical to this Dolphins team. The offensive line on both teams has these injuries. And there's been problems on both sides. I like ours much better. We got Tehran. We got Connor. It's a huge upgrade over what the Jets have, which is total disaster. But because that front is so good, because of the style that the Jets play, it makes it more important for us to have our offensive line set. Now, Hunt shows up. I think it's going to be very, very, very good for us. It's going to be huge. I mean, him and Connor next to each other with Tehran can offset some things that we have at left guard. And Jackson, although he's not what people are telling you Pro Bowl, he's not, there's a lot worse guys in the league than Austin Jackson in the pass game. Run game, well, that's a different story we could talk about. But for the Jets, Becton had a grade 1 sprain. And he was expected to be out for 1 to 2 weeks, but he's doing a walkthrough as well, and he's going to try to play Friday. And that would be big for the Jets. That could be a little showmanship. Becton's had struggles. He's a big guy, ankle, injury history, and maybe they're just putting him out there. Now, Brown is a guy who's been pretty good, but he's really long in the tooth. He's had injury history. They got a 21-day window, and it's really close to the final couple of days where they can activate him or they're going to put him back on IR for the rest of the season. So he's in the wings kind of lurking around too. That might be something they could add, but it's a long shot there. But Billy Turner looks like he's a guy that's the best, our old guy Billy Turner, to come in and help out this offensive line. He needs a ton of help. So there's a lot of injury fog of war on both teams. I think for them, it's very, very critical. For us, if Hunt's in, I really like our chances. I really, really do. I think it's going to offset a lot of what the defense is doing over there with the Jets. Not saying they can't get after us and cause problems, but that's a big deal. Now, Hard Knocks, I don't like it, but what do they call that? Dirty pleasure. I'm going to watch it tonight. It's on tonight. I'm excited about it. I don't like that we got it, but if we got it, I'm going to watch it. So just let you know about that. Darius Leonard, linebacker from the Colts, was cut. What a crazy league. I think it's about $1 million a game check and like $7 million next year if we want to bring him in. I don't think we're going to. Somebody's going to, I think. He's had problems. But it's amazing. This guy was like a superstar, and he just got cut, passed through waivers. Just put that out there. I don't think he's coming. I think, you can bring him in here for the last couple of games and then try to get him up to snuff. Baker and Long, I think, are where it's at, and I don't think that we have the money for that either. Now, we've talked about the Dolphins' inability to beat quote-unquote winning teams, and I don't really put much stock in it, but if you look at strength of schedule, it plays a big deal in the final tiebreakers. It's like one of the back end ones, but it's in there. Right now, the Jags have a higher seeding than us because of their strength of schedule. So if you want to get down on the Dolphins for not beating certain teams based on their victory total, this is about something you could really physically and honestly hold yourself to. It's not a huge deal, but right now you can see the Jags got an edge on us because of that. So just wanted to throw that out there. Now, Achane, I don't know what's going on. If you see the hit, it was the same knee as the last time. This guy's a blazer. If you don't understand, like body fat, when you strip your body fat down, your overall weight, you are faster. And, certain guys, they're muscular, they have the speed, and they cut their body fat down, and they're lightning fast. But the problem is the NFL is this fine line between speed and strength. And if you saw the hit that he got dragged down by a big guy. It was the same thing that happened to his injury before. And that knee, was he brought back too soon? I don't know. But clearly, I think that the guy is going to have to kind of sacrifice some of that strength and speed in the offseason and build up some more size. Because the way he gets taken down and his legs kind of just go, they kind of like lose their strength, this could be something that continues to happen. And this guy is a special dude. I hope he's okay. I hope that he can get himself to the right combo there. But I don't know if we're going to see him for a while. They've really got to take care of this. Kid has special in him. But that speed-size combo is going to be interesting to see going forward. Great kid, though, man. Great kid. Sucked. Bad to see that happen. Now, I want to go over here, look at Phillips. Man, he had an unbelievable day. I kind of reported on what he had done, but let's take a look over here in a second. All right, Jaylen Phillips had an unbelievable game. 2 sacks, 1 int, 1 pass defense, I think 3 QB hits, 6 total tackles. This guy had a game of games. Unbelievable. He's just getting stronger and stronger in the Fangio system. The injury slowed him down, but can you come out of a cannon any faster than what he's been doing week after week? You're seeing something special emerge, which I had hoped for. This is a great kid. Congratulations, Jaylen Phillips. You're an awesome dude and a great member of this team. I hope you have game after game of this and more. Ace Per Head's betting software is the premier white label platform for bookies to manage their players and grow their sportsbook operation. Click the link in the description below to get set up in minutes. Ask for the Curtis promo and get a special introductory discount. Okay, so get into my little stats that I've got over here. I want to go back and show you, use this in combination with my last podcast. I had a bunch of statistics there. I also compared Cleveland and the Dolphins from last week to show you how you can protect through speed of throw. But the Dolphins doubled the distance of per pass that the Cleveland had, which shows how awesome Hill, Waddle, McDaniel, and Tua are. And it creates a special thing. So Tua, as you saw, I showed last time, just a quick refresher, 22 of 26, 219 yards and 2 TDs, 2.5 seconds or less. Over 2.5 seconds, he was 6 of 13 for 105 yards and an int. Now, I went down. These aren't exact numbers because you have to go back and watch the film. That's too long. But they're close. They're very close with a very marginal differential, okay? I'm not going to give you all my secrets on how to do it, but it is, I've checked it and rechecked it. So here you can see in this graphic here, Dolphins and Raiders. All right, you can see here BPP is blockers per pass. Then it's RPP, which is rushers per pass. Then RIR, receivers en route. And then DPP, which is defenders per pass. Dolphins and Raiders. Now, the Dolphins last week against the Raiders had 6.23 blockers per pass. The 7.3 is when you factor in Tua. So within the box, we had 7.23 guys every single pass. Receivers en route was 3.71, so just under 4. So that's what we were putting out to stop the rushers they were bringing, and then how many receivers we were putting en route, which would test the secondary. And when you contrast these numbers, you get a context of what each group was doing and how they were performing. It's not an exact science, but you can kind of then create a sense of leverage between what was used to accomplish the goal and what was used to accomplish the goal on the opposing side. Now, the Raiders, in contrast to the 6.23 blockers per pass, had 4.02 rushes. They only rushed a blitz 5 times. Now, their defenders per pass was 6.98. So they had almost 7 guys in routes to cover 3.7. So they nearly almost had double coverage on every receiver throughout the game. And we had to use slightly above 50% of their rushers in blockers to stop them. It means we weren't very efficient in our protection because Tua was pressured 25% of the time. That's not good. But we got the ball out fast and got it at depth. And this talks about why Tua, McDaniel, Hill, and Waddle are doing a phenomenal job. But again, you want one-on-one coverage. They talk about the one-on-one coverage. They played loads of zone, so it's not necessarily the way it works. But it's never a good thing to have 3.7 versus 6.98, 3.7 receivers versus 6.98 defenders. So this is a big reason why we struggled. A lot of times when you run the ball very effectively, you get the more blitzes, and then you get those one-on-one, and that's where the big plays come from. So people are like, where are the big plays? If you go back and look at our games where we had our biggest games, our blockers per pass was down to like 5.2, 5.3, and we called very little play action. But as the trouble on the offensive line and the defenses got better, we had to create more blockers per pass, which limited our big play capability. Now, on this graphic here, you can see PAs, play action, 20. Almost 50% of our passes was play action. So when we play action, it puts all these guys in the box, and you figure it's at least 2, and that creates less receivers and routes, and they weren't biting with the blitz, and that's why sometimes we had problems. Now, we added 12 extra blockers as normal, so 50% of our passes were play action, and then of that last 50%, almost 50%, over 50%, we had kept extra blockers in to help it out. This means you are a conservative style offense, pulling guys in, and it makes it harder on the quarterback. And this is a reason why you have to add these contexts to Tua and what he's doing. We had 41 dropbacks, we had 41 dropbacks and 39 attempts. Now, contrasting, if you look at my last podcast, Cleveland had better results with quicker time to throw, although the depth was half, but their blockers per pass was 5.21, one full blocker less. And so if you look at their tackles, they're not good, but they were able to keep less blockers in and get better results using the quick time to throw. And this is why when you see this, you could say, well, they're a top 5 tackle. And it's not to say Jackson isn't doing good things, but you've got to keep that in the quantity, in the equation. He's not getting the sacks or allowing the sacks and the pressures because look what we're doing to protect it, the whole thing, where other teams in the league aren't. And it's not all on Jackson. There's many reasons for this. And it's not all on Jackson. But you can't just look at the lack of pressures he's giving and sacks and say he's Hall of Fame. If you look at his numbers, he's playing unbelievable. But why? There's other guys in the league that are doing the same thing, but their blockers per pass is low. Their time to throw is in 2.6, 2.7. So this is what we got to see. Will Jackson, in those games where the time to throw goes up and it's a more balanced matchup, will he still perform the way he does? That's what we got to wait to see. But you have to understand context when you make evaluations. And literally, most of the people out there have very little clue on the foundation of the situation. And so they just go to the leaf and then they diagnose the roots. I'm trying to get to the roots. I don't have all the answers, but this information creates a foundation so you can gauge better than if you're just looking at, macro stats. Now, I'm a film guy, but I can't show you 20 hours of film because no one's going to watch. So I condense the images and the situations down to this and distill it down to this and then add it along. So I'm not just pulling things out of my behind and saying stuff like a lot of people do. Now, don't take everything I'm saying as gospel, but create for yourself a better foundation in your evaluations, taking what I'm saying and like Jeet Kune Do, use what's good for you and create a style for you. Anyway, guys, I'm very, very grateful for all you do. I'm trying my best. I really am, because to me, you guys investing the way you do are phenomenal. I know I'm a monkey. And every time I see the numbers that I do, it's so impressive. And I am very grateful. And I don't have a dog in the hunt, pony in the show, or whatever it is. I keep forgetting, I'm so stupid. But I'm just trying to get to the truth. That's all I'm trying to do. So I hope you enjoyed, guys. The film, I'm going to give everything. I'm working all the way tonight, tomorrow, so I can have Thanksgiving off and watch football with my family and eat my face off and get ready for this Jets game. Guys, you're the best. Curtis, and catch you next time. Be well. Go Fins. Start building your own online sportsbook today by getting signed up with AceBread.com service that'll allow you to book action on sports from all around the world.